I want to talk about what masturbation is. And when I say that, I want to talk about some of the misconceptions that you have heard either through your work, through conversations, through just any misconceptions that you've heard about masturbation that you kind of want to get out there. And I can share some that I've heard too, just amongst friends and amongst conversations, but I'm going to throw it to you now to share your thoughts on this.
Sure. So it's sort of an interesting thing, right? Because I have to reconfigure my own brain as a person who already did the rebranding in here. I have to come back and be like, wait a minute, what was it? So masturbation, when I'm talking about it as a sex educator and a sex therapist, is touching yourself in a pleasurable way. Mm-hmm. Not just with your own hands, but with toys, with materials, with fabric, with your hands, with or without lubricant, infinite ways to touch yourself in a pleasure-seeking, pleasure-focused way is masturbation. Now, what most people conceptualize when they think about masturbation is by yourself, tab A, slap B, right? We're still in tab A, slap B territory, right? We think about jorking it. We think about rubbing one out. We think about flicking the bean, right? There's all these sort of euphemisms.
Mixing on the turntables.
Mixing on the turntables. There's all these euphemisms for what is this very limited lens of masturbation of just touching your genitals so you orgasm.
Right.
And that's the point. And
right.
That's you get to it, you get after it, you have your orgasm. A lot of people after that point feel shame, and then they quickly redress themselves and go back to whatever they were doing.
Just say, not me. Usually I feel sleepy and I take a nap.
Yeah, that's fair. Sleepy is a really common bodily response to orgasm. It has to do with cortisol being reuptaken. Anyway, less cortisol, mm-hmm. right? And more oxytocin.
Yes.
And then you feel not stressed and sleepy. So, but that limited description of masturbation, it then makes it even less desirable.
It sounds like masturbation is the way that it's viewed typically, in what you're saying, and just in my mindset of conversations that I've heard, where at best it's viewed as a consolation. It's a substitute for the real thing.
Substitute for the real thing
at best.
That's the really good way to put it, is people talk about partnered sex as the real thing, and any sort of individual pleasure, pleasure you're bringing onto yourself, doing for yourself, is less than, and really is only to be pursued when you can't get the real thing.
Yes. Oh, hi. He's just our guest.
We have a guest star.
So this just makes it really difficult to
It is focus. Significantly harder to focus when there is such a cutie on camera.
So it's a substitute for the real thing. And I've heard a lot of shame around it, mm-hmm. where even in the sense of, because it's a substitute for the real thing, when you talk about doing it, the response is, oh, you couldn't get the real thing? Shame, 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 shame. Or you just shouldn't do that because you're defiling yourself. Shame, 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 shame. Or if you're already in a relationship, you shouldn't need to do that because you're in a relationship. Shame, 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 shame. And this is where I want to bring up something that I heard on a podcast that I'm not going to name.
Okay.
Great podcast, love it. But one of the guys on the podcast, there was a conversation that was happening. And he said that if he was with his girlfriend and she wanted to use toys during sex, he wouldn't like that, because in his mind, it's, why am I not enough for you?
Oh, here we go.
And that went into a conversation about, if you're in a relationship, you should never have to masturbate, because if you why would you masturbate when you have someone there who you can have sex with? And the other people on the show were trying to tell him, like, that's not, like, what? And he was like, no, you have your person there. Why would you need to masturbate? You should never masturbate.
So there's two big things there, right? Like one's like we could do a whole episode just talking about like, hey guys, pleasure is the measure. Like sex is experience, not performance. Like it's not about,
Pleasure is the measure. Make a great t-shirt.
Pleasure is the measure. It's true. Pleasure is the measure. I did not coin that, just to be clear.
Oh no. Okay.
I don't know who did, but it is such a common phrase in the world of sex therapy and sex education. So I do not want to take credit for pleasure as the measure.
We could flip it and say measure your pleasure.
I don't want to measure my pleasure.
Because, sorry, I go off track. Continue.
No. Right. So the other big thing, right, is like that is so like that idea of like if you have a partner, you shouldn't masturbate and you shouldn't need to masturbate is such a confirmation of that like belief and story we have culturally that masturbation is a substitute for the real thing.
Yes. Why
though? Who knows your body better than you?
It feels like someone saying, let's say that I open up a pizza shop.
Okay.
That would be like someone saying to me, you have a restaurant. Why are you eating McNuggets? And to me, because to them, they're like, people are viewing it as the same thing when it's not. And it's just like, sometimes I want to eat McNuggets. Maybe I can't sleep, and a McNugget will make me fall asleep.
Well, and so you touch on the idea of like, why do we seek sexual pleasure? Infinite reasons. It's Tuesday. I want to fall asleep. I'm horny. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'd like to be distracted. I'm feeling stressed out, and this like muscle relaxation would be really helpful, right? Infinite reasons. But what I think is really difficult for people to conceptualize is the idea that masturbation is sex. Like, you tell someone that, and they look at you like you have lobsters crawling out of your ears.
Well, then would someone then, I don't feel this way, but do you think someone would then say, well, if masturbation is sex, then if you masturbate, you're cheating on me with yourself?
Probably. I mean, so that's not an unusual thing. And it does show up like in relationships that have conflict when there's a lot of like pressure and like anxiety around partnered sex. Some people may not have the skills and tools to be able to like navigate that conflict and resolve that. They may not have the communication tools. They may not have the therapeutic support. They may not have what they need in that space to be able to resolve that conflict, but they still want to experience sexual pleasure. And they're not experiencing sexual pleasure in their partnered relationship because of all this conflict and these obstacles and the anxiety and the pressure around sex. So they turn to solo sex. They turn to masturbation. And if they are actively and intentionally avoiding partnered sex by using masturbation or by having solo sex, then like, yeah, to some extent there is sort of a you're cheating on me with yourself energy happening there, right? But that has so much more to do with a relational dynamic that needs healing than it does with masturbation being a problem.